The NFL season is back Thursday night. We have it for you live here on 97.3 ESPN. It is the Bucs and the Cowboys. We got you covered Thursdays, Sundays, and Monday Night Football, Eagles football. And Jeff Nadu is here. He is back. No, he's been here. I have not. He does not take vacation. It's just me that takes the vacation. Although I know he's got a lot of things going on. He'll tell you a little bit more about where you can find him at Jeff Nadu on Twitter. And if you were following Jeff Nadu on Twitter, tell the people, Jeff, you were winning them some money this week.
Yes, I did. Thanks for having me on, Mike. I had a very good week. 7-1. I had one loser, but it was a good one. Good week. Very happy with how it all worked out. I was seeing the board pretty well, and you like when those things happen. But look, 1 week is 1 week. You're happy for a day or so, and then you got to move on because this week it's different. You got NFL thrown in now. It's really just about doing the same processes, kind of going through what I do, and being confident.
I know. Well, Jeff is going to join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the football season, so we're going to get a little bit more from Jeff later on in the week. But let's look at the Thursday game because that's what everybody is squarely looking at to start things off. So let's kind of get a couple of little nuggets from you as that game opened at 6.5, Jeff. It's now up to 8 if you're on DraftKings, BetMGM. FanDuel has it 7.5, but up to 8 all of a sudden. Give me a read there.
Yeah, I've talked to you before. I'm pretty high on the Dallas Cowboys. I know a lot of people don't necessarily want to hear that, but again, I'm an Eagle fan. But at the end of the day, my money is important to me. And look, I took the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. I took a shot with them. I think in this game, they're a live dog. I'll gladly be on the opposite side of the public here, right out of the gate, stand alone, first game out. I'll take more than a touchdown. I'll gladly be interested. I think Dallas, you can make the case, has a top 2-3 offense in the NFL when they're fully healthy. And, Dakota Prescott is all of a sudden ready to go. So I'm good to go. I'm fine with their offense. Look, Mike, they can't be much worse defensively, okay? And I know we're facing arguably the best defense in the league, but I think Dallas made some strides, and I think we'll make some strides defensively. This one kind of struck to me as like a 31-23 type of game. It's going to be right around the number, but I think we sneak in, find a way, maybe 27-24. I'm going to wait a little bit because I think this one could, maybe even tick up a little bit higher. But I'm leaning towards Dallas.
Right. So it's 8 right now. It keeps going up. It started 6.5. That thing keeps going up a little bit. You're right. A lot of the public probably jumping on Tampa Bay at home to start the season. You're saying hold off a little bit, wait for Dallas, and maybe get that thing at 8.5, even up to 9 as we get closer to Thursday. All right.
And I think the only thing that, and even if the number goes down, I mean, that would mean, you're still getting above 7, which is where I want to be in this game. I'm good with that.
I want to get the opening line on Philadelphia and Atlanta. Started 3.5. It's 3 some places, but it's kind of holding steady there. What does that say about Philly as a road dog?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty much telling you that the game's a toss-up. You're going to give a team 3 points for home field. I don't know if 3 points is worthy in Atlanta. Not really a boisterous atmosphere as far as I'm concerned. Look, I think the Eagles very much should win this game. I don't see any reason they won't. Obviously, though, Mike, we don't ultimately know how Jalen Hurts is going to play. I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to shut a lot of people up, and I think that offense is going to move the football. Atlanta is not a good defensive team. When you look at Atlanta, do they have a better quarterback? Slightly. Do they have the better receivers? Yes. But outside of that, the Eagles are better in every facet. I like where they are. And again, we're going to have to see. The jury's still out on them defensive because as many people know, Atlanta's got a couple good receivers and they got a big-time tight end that a lot of people thought this team was going to draft last year. So, but I'm feeling good. I like the Steven Nelson stuff. I think the linebackers will be solid enough. This very much should be a win. I think, to me, if I get 3.5 points, I think it's probably too many. I don't think their home field is worth more than maybe a point or so. I think the Eagles win this football game. 3.5 is a good number.
This one's interesting to me too, Jeff. I know it's early, and this is why we do this early in the week, because this thing opened at 1. Giants are a home dog. They're up to +3 at home all of a sudden.
Yeah, people are buying into Denver, and I think that has a lot to do with, obviously, Teddy Bridgewater as their quarterback. If you know anything about Teddy, he's a solid quarterback. He's always done pretty good against the spread. He's been just a solid guy. He's not going to be, for whatever reason, he doesn't ever get starter looks a lot of the time. He's only really the starter just because they don't have anyone else. But I think he gives them some cohesion and some chemistry at quarterback for once. People like their defense. I think people are down on Daniel Jones. Look, he's a lot like Jalen Hurts. He's got a lot to prove. He's either going to be good or he's either going to be bad. We're still going to have to figure that out, though. I think a lot of people with the Giants are deflecting and not remembering. They get Saquon back. They've got a pretty good offensive line. They've got a good receiver core all of a sudden. So all the tools are there for Daniel Jones to be good enough. The New York Giants can also match what I think Denver can do defensively. I don't know that I quite understand the move up, especially at home. If this hits 3, I think you have a really solid side here in the Giants.
Jeff Nadu, at Jeff Nadu, for more from him on this week's games. This one's interesting, man. Packers Saints opened up -2.5 New Orleans. It's now +4 New Orleans. That thing took a huge twist and turn here. Is that just the public not believing in New Orleans because they don't have Breeze anymore?
Yeah, I mean, people just, I guess, aren't buying Jameis Winston. I don't understand that. I like Jameis. I think he's a really underrated quarterback in the NFL. A lot of people don't give him enough credit. I know he had a terrible season where he threw, 30 or whatever it was.
He turned the ball over a lot that year in Tampa.
But ultimately, when you look at his numbers, I mean, from a cumulative standpoint, he's done super well. I think he's going to do well in that offense. But look, I'm looking probably total here. I think both these offenses are going to have no trouble moving the football. I don't fully trust Green Bay's defense. We know Aaron Rodgers is going to pick apart the Saints. These two teams know each other pretty well. I think, obviously, the best chance to score points is having Jameis Winston as the quarterback. We just need to make sure Sean Payton is not going to get too obsessive as usual with Taysom Hill.
At Jeff Nadu on Twitter. Make sure you give him a follow. He's closing in on a milestone number, by the way, coming in on 30,000 followers. The big man on campus. All right, couple college games, all right? Do you have a play or feel Kansas is an awful program? Coastal Carolina is a program on the come. But should Coastal Carolina be given a Big 12 team? I know a lousy Big 12 program. 27.5 it opened up at. It's gone down to 25 in some places, but Friday night, there's a standalone game for us.
Yeah, look, I know a lot of people are going to look at Coastal and say, well, they beat Citadel 52-14. I got to tell you right now, Citadel is a top 25 program in the FCS. They're not a bad football team. I've seen teams in Division I like Georgia Tech struggle with the Citadel over the years. So I wouldn't just chalk that up. They blew the Citadel out. Kansas barely beat South Dakota. It's going to take some time before Lance Leopold and that coaching staff gets what they want in there. They're not a real talented program. We all know that. I wouldn't have any problem laying it. Am I going to? I don't know. The fact that it's going down is obviously good. Can Kansas maybe – they're a better program than they've been in years past, but being a little bit better than horrible is not that big. Coastal should win this game, 41-10.
They had Mark Mangino, and what after that they had nothing. They've had like 1 year.
That was the last time they were good. That was, 12, 15 years ago.
Terrible.
Maybe.
Yeah, that program, horrible. All right. Oregon, Ohio State. That's kind of that big, the Fox Noon Saturday game, and that's the noon Saturday. 10.5 it opened. Ohio State, the favorite. It's up to 14.5 now on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll gladly wait on this one. I'll gladly allow this one to get pumped up. Here's the problem you have in week 2. We saw every team in week 1. People are going to overreact to what they saw. What did they see? Oregon barely won. But here's the point, Mike. They won, okay? And they beat a damn good Fresno team, a damn good team that can win the Mountain West. It doesn't matter what a team that they won. That's all that matters. You think Georgia cares that they only won 10-3? Doesn't matter. They won. Oregon, according to most people, they're going to remember what they saw. Brown didn't look too good. Look, the truth of the matter is they like Brown. They're going to stick with Brown. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ohio State can't defend you, me, and 9 listeners. It's that simple.
Wow.
They can't. They're bad. They're not a good defensive team. Oregon is going to hang in that football game. I will gladly take 2 touches. Mike, Ohio State had trouble with Minnesota. Okay, Oregon is a better team than Minnesota. People are overreacting to what they saw. Nobody cares. Beating Oregon or beating Fresno by 7 or whatever it was, that's a good win. Fresno's a good football team with a damn good quarterback. So I'll be all over all over. I thought Oregon was a good play at 10.5. I really like them at over 2 touchdowns.
Yep, it's gone up that far to 2 touchdowns. Now, one, it's going the opposite direction. Notre Dame, 19.5. That game was entertaining on, what was that, Sunday night, I guess. Down to 16.5 against the Rockets.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, were blown away at how good Jack Cohen was. I mean, he was, I thought, terrific. A lot of people, I heard a lot of people in my ear telling me, hey, this guy's been working with people in the offseason. He's going to be solid. He was awesome. Defensively, they weren't great. This is going to be a high-scoring game, I think. Toledo can move the football. Not that Toledo played anybody in week 1, but they've got a damn good offense. Jason Candle's a good coach. So I would firmly believe that'll be a higher-scoring game, but not one I really looked at. I don't really love when Notre Dame plays these, like, mid-tier MAC type of teams. Just don't have much interest. It's a win for them. I think that's all they really care about. They have bigger fish to fry with a tough schedule.
Okay, there's one more that's kind of on my mind that I want to get your opinion on, and then if you have something else that you've already kind of researched, I know that's what you do. You jump out. But it's at Iowa State, 4:30 Saturday. Opened at 5.5. Iowa State's at home. They're the favorite. It's down to 4.5. But this one, I mean, if people are college football fans, you're going to want to watch this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of people look at week 1 and say, wow, what was Iowa State up to? That was dreadful. Well, look, Northern Iowa always plays them tough. That's a big rivalry. That's a Northern Iowa team that's very good in the FCS as well. A lot of people, we overreact with how good Iowa is. They're not. Indiana's just overvalued. A lot of people believe that. Penix, I don't think, is fully healthy. It's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a real dogfight. I think it's probably first to 24 wins. But I think for me, I'm looking at a guy like Brock Purdy and Breece Hall, and I think some of the talent they have, I think they have the better coach. I would be more invested in Iowa State, especially with the fact that I think this is one team that didn't look good and people are going to overreact again. For me, I feel like Iowa State wins this one by a touchdown or so. I think Iowa's good, but they're never a team that I think can really compete with the really good teams in college football. I think Iowa State will be – they had this one circled. I don't think they really took much care about Northern Iowa. They won. That's all they cared about.
All right. Jeff, is there a couple of college games or something this weekend that you're already early in on?
Yeah, my favorite game, one of the games I'm looking forward to most on this card was Army, Western Kentucky. A lot of people don't care, but I do. Army, I thought, was absolutely terrific in week 1. They beat a good Georgia State team badly. And we know what Army does. They put the ball on the ground. They've got about 6 guys that are going to give you 20 yards or more on the ground. They've got a quarterback that just hands it off, and that's what he does. This Army offense is very good. And this Army defense, I think, up against a passer with the caliber of Bailey Zappi. I thought Bailey Zappi was probably the second or third best quarterback we saw this week. He was incredible against a really bad football team that they played. But I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. West Kentucky's not going to be out of it. I want to see if I can get 7 with West Kentucky. I'll probably buy in. I'll also lean over. I think it's going to be a game where West Kentucky won't be able to stop Army on the ground. I don't know if West Kentucky Army doesn't see teams like them very often. So I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I'll gladly be looking towards an over here.
All right. At Jeff Nadu, tell the people where they can start finding more of your information and your plays. Of course, at Jeff Nadu on Twitter, you get some there, but you're going to be putting out a lot more for the football season.
Yeah, so I'm on Patreon now, patreon.com/BMOC. You can find me there. I'm doing about 30 shows a month on Patreon. You guys know I spend a lot of time on this stuff. I'm going to give you the best breakdowns. Going to have good people on to talk about all this stuff. And, college basketball eventually will be there. Mike, listen, you know all about this. For whatever reason, and I'm not afraid to say it either, for whatever reason, I wasn't called this year to work anywhere, and I've always been someone that goes and does what they got to do. I'm content with where I'm at and doing my own things. The sit-down's been picked up. I'm going to be announcing that soon. I'm going to start making money there. So I'm very happy and content with where I'm at, and I appreciate you having me on. I also quickly want to say rest in peace to one of the greatest actors in the history of this country, Michael Kenneth Williams, a legend. You guys obviously down there know all about him with Chucky White and Boardwalk Empire. Just a fantastic actor. I've heard nothing but good things about the kind of person he was. Let's stop looking about how he died. He died. Let the man rest. Rest in peace to the great Michael Kenneth.
It's amazing that you said that because I was just on vacation and we were talking about our favorite shows of all time, and The Wire is fully in my top 3, 100%. It is always, when this conversation comes up, when I saw that news, I mean, Omar was one of my favorite characters in the history of television. And when I saw that, it rocked me, dude.
Yeah, I think it did to me as well. I was at a little barbecue, and my father and I love The Wire. We watch it all the time, and I've
seen it 3 times, by the way. I've watched it from start to finish 3 times.
Yeah, and I said to him, I said, Omar died. He said, I know he did. I watched the show. I said, no, he actually died. I couldn't believe it. I was blown away.
Let me tell you, I was sitting having a conversation. We were talking about, we were with a couple of different people, and we said, hey, because I love going to Baltimore. And I said, hey, we got to go to Baltimore one weekend. And I said, you got to go walk around the Lexington Market, because right across the street is the scene where Omar dies. I was like, that's right across the street. It's not the greatest neighborhood in the world, but you got to go check out the Lexington Market.
There's a fascinating thing you can do. I'd highly recommend it. Look, do it during the day. I wouldn't do it at night, but there's someone on Google Maps that's done a tour where he plots all the things. You can go see them all. I actually have done it before. It's
the Wire tour, yeah.
Cool. But it's just a really sad news. The good die young, Mike. I mean, we had James Gandolfini, 2 of the great characters ever.
Now, are you in on the Sopranos prequel?
Yeah, I'll watch it. I don't need it, but I'll be involved for sure. I'm one that when you have a great show and a great work of art like The Wire or The Sopranos, I think you have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I think you have to just end it. I don't necessarily need prequels or sequels, but I'm going to say one thing before we go, Mike. You trust my opinion, right?
Depends on what it is. If it's Ben Simmons, no.
Okay, but when it comes to TV, things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say, I said this obviously before this happened. I don't want to defame the man. Mike, I think we have a new leader in the clubhouse as far as in my rankings as the greatest TV show I've ever seen.
Is that a tease? Are you putting that out on Twitter?
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I already put it out. Have you ever seen Gomorrah?
No.
Mike, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to tell your audience, if you enjoy mafia, the mob, that kind of thing, it is an absolute masterpiece.
What's the platform?
HBO Max. It was on Netflix. So it's an Italian TV show, okay? But I urge you, watch it in Italian. You got the subtitles. You'll get used to it after 10 minutes. Mike, this show is brilliant.
All right.
I mean, the season 1 is the greatest TV season I've ever seen.
By the way, the tweet you put out about Snoop was the character. What's her real name? Felicia Pearson. Yeah. That tweet there, I did not know that they found her and wrote her into the show. I did not know that.
Yeah, Michael Kenneth Williams found her at a Baltimore club. She had, as I tweeted, she did 6.5 years for second-degree murder. She was she sold heroin on the street. She was going the wrong way, got out at 18. She was in a juvenile spot. And, she just was randomly discovered. And they originally said to her, like, she was going to be an extra. And then she started speaking, and the creator of the show said, we're going to write you in a part. And
she had a huge part.
I think the best scene in the show, in the nail gun in the hardware store.
Oh, yeah.
Season 4. Someday I'll tell you the story about that I have. I don't know if you have time now, but I have a good story about that.
All right. Well, Jeff Nadu back on Thursday. We'll do more NFL plays. We'll have some feel on the Thursday night game.
Ask me about the Wire story. Then.
I'll try to remember.
Sounds good.
Josh says he'll remind me. Now, on Thursday, I will be on location, so he'll have to remind me through chat or something.
What a surprise, Mike. You're out of the office again.
Oh, no. Somebody actually paid for me to be out of the office. Right?
I'm kidding.
Although the baseball team that I coached that won the World Series, we are being honored before the Phillies game Thursday night.
No way. Good for you. Oh, kids will love that. Yeah, that's a great thrill. That's awesome.
Thrill of a lifetime. Unbelievable. We had a parade on Sunday. The parade went for about a half an hour. It was pretty crazy. Yep.
Good for you. That's great. I'm glad to see you doing your part, Mike. Great work.
Jeff Nadu, at Jeff Nadu. Follow him. Get him to 30,000 followers. All right, man.
Please do. Thanks, Mike. See you.
There he goes. Jeff Nadu, who's back on Thursday.